What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Facts and Stats. This is now episode 106. Grinding YouTube, chasing dreams. If you in here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We have a full NBA episode today. I'm joined by three special guests, starting with Heaven Sent.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Also, no problem. Also, Jordan Woods.
Yo, ready to talk more Lakers disappointment. Let's do it.
And last but not least, my guy Wess is also here, man.
What's the word, man? Thankful. Obviously, looking forward to kicking off talks about the best sports was really running facts and stats. If you know me.
I don't know about that, bro. I don't know if it was really running facts and stats, but either way, though, I appreciate y'all for joining me again. We recorded an episode about 2 weeks ago where we talked about the Cat and the Town, Cat and Randall trade. Now we're just going to talk about some last little bit of off-season things. Talk about who we have making NBA Finals and things of that nature. We started off with, I'm going to go back to West, though. I want you to sort of kind of refresh your brain a little bit and talk about what you think is your favorite thing that happened this past offseason. Outside of your team getting Caruso and Arnstein, I want you to try to attack a different happening.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I really, I like the JJ Redick move by the Lakers. I'm all for like young coaches having an opportunity and like through watching this podcast, hearing him speak about the sport. I really like his knowledge and just the nuance I feel like he'll bring to the Lakers and just the NBA as a whole in a coaching role. I also was really excited to see, or I am really excited to see, Cat in the New York Knicks uniform. It's funny, the Knicks had a crazy offseason. Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, overpaying the crap out of OG Anunoby, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I'm excited. Leon Rose and I forgot the owner's name, but that's a good thing. He's out the way now. So, but it's Dolan, if I'm not mistaken. They're putting together something special over there. So those are my two.
You loving the Cat move, fan of that, and you liking. You went to a coaching hire. That's different. I like that. Hopefully, they can build some continuity over there, some trust, and some actual plays being ran. Versus standing in your pockets. With your hands in your pockets, things like that. Shout out to Darvin Ham, though. He's back in Milwaukee. Heaven sent. I want to circle to you. Like, what do you think is your favorite thing that happened this offseason? It could be up to 1 to 3 things. It don't really matter.
Rest to the Denver Nuggets.
Why that one?
Because he's like my favorite player to watch, so I'm super excited to see him play basketball this season. Also, I'm like Wes said all the good stuff, so I don't know what you want me to do with this. But shout out the Lakers for signing what's his name? Oliveri. That's his Oliveri, right?
Great.
Quincy. Yeah.
He balled out in the preseason, even though he probably won't get minutes or whatever. It's still looking good that they have some sort of like potential player for the future because they're going downhill. But other than that, like as the LeBron James supporter, I'm just happy to see that all the teams that people were like using to shit on the Lakers, like the Pelicans and the Clippers, are on a downfall. And the Lakers maybe as well, but at least they won a championship off of their moves. So that's about it for me.
You got for Jordan's favorite thing that happened this offseason or things?
Well, I got 4 quick ones for you. Tennessee took one of them, but they're all in that same vein. I feel like we have some double agents that got dispersed across the league that could potentially help the Lakers. You mentioned Russ with the Nuggets, Randall going to the Wolves. You got Dinwiddie going to the Mavs, Paul George going to the Sixers. Guys, I just do not believe in. So it's nice to see contenders get those guys because I think they will be fool's gold, and when it counts the most, let them down like they normally tend to do. But a serious one would probably be I really want to see how the Edie move, the Edie acquisition works out for the Grizzlies. I think a guy like Ja, who's going to relentlessly feed him the ball, he's going to be on double watch. I think every single night. Probably be on a lot of betting slips. Probably be minus money by mid-season. By the time mid-season gets around, so I think Edie over there with Jaren Jackson, with Bane, with Mark, like they got a good core. and I think Edie could fit right in. There's somebody that they really needed to replace Steven Adams. So seeing how that works out would be probably one of the sneakier, underrated moves that people like, but they don't talk about as much.
Yeah, I mean, last but not least, I mean, you definitely just stole one of mine. I want to go ahead and say that. I don't know how many I had, but definitely Zach was on my radar when I was thinking about it. Speaking of Edie, man, double watch. I agree. Literally dropped him in fantasy basketball yesterday for that exact reason, especially rim protecting standpoint for Memphis. So that was one of my favorite moves. When I think of the word favorite, I'm gonna think of something that I like, but it might not look pretty, but I like the idea of it. So this next one is DeJounte Murray. I liked when that happened this offseason. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a fan of it. Heaven's gonna say, nigga, what? I understand.
How do you know?
I already know it's coming, but I was a fan of it because this is the team that needed a point guard. Now how the rest of the roster is gonna be on their lineup, I can't speak for that. But I like the move. I'm gonna watch their games to see how they make it all come together. Tyus Jones is another one in Phoenix. Sort of kind of the same thing with DeJounte Murray. You think of that team, they need a point guard, but they also have two guards that are where they have a relatively small lineup now. Let me put it like that. They have a relatively small lineup now with Bill and
Who's
Booker
playing
on the
small
wing.
forward?
Bill and Booker would be playing the three.
Okay, all right.
Our guard in threes on a night-to-night basis consistently.
Right.
So I like that move personally. So Tyus, Zach, and then I forget my first DeJounte Murray. That was some of my favorite moves that took place this offseason. Another one that I like, man. I'm a fan of it. I don't care, but like I said, you don't know what the fit is going to look like. But I'm all for teams trying to become better to make deeper runs in the postseason or probably even make a conference finals. That's the road on the Kings. I'm a fan of it. I like it. Still got to see how the fit's going to look, but I think this allows Wess said it yesterday right on the nose. This allowed Keegan Murray to take that step back and play his true role. I'll say as being a floor spacer, not having to do too much with the ball in your hands, and being one of their best defenders on that team. So things are really reduced and easy for Keegan. He's now instead of option 3, he's option 4 when it comes to pecking order on offense. So that's something that I like. DeRozan, Tyus Jones, Zach, and I close that out with I forget my last one that fast. DeJounte Murray. I'm sorry, DeJounte Murray. So that's what I'm thinking about. This next topic, though, I'm gonna take you out to the next one. When you think of who's taking a leap this season, we've seen the Orlando Magic, Indiana Pacers, or OKC. How can I not say OKC? OKC. These teams took leaps from the previous season. What's that? 22, 23, I want to say. Yeah, 22, 23 to 2023, 2024. Me personally, I don't think there's a team that's going to take a leap that the Magic just did as far as the win column. I think this league we have about, in my opinion, like 20 good teams or more. So I don't know if anybody's gonna take a big jump like that. That was probably in the 30s as far as win total last year. So I'm gonna direct this question to Heaven Center. You can think of a team that may probably want to take a leap this season, as far as going further in the playoffs, making the finals, or a team that may fall off this season. What you got for me?
Go further this season, I guess, if I had to pick a team, because I do think that there is a lot of parity within the league. So I don't think there'll be like huge jumps forward. I can see a few maybe falling back, like the Clippers, because Kawhi is questionable to play, and we don't know when he'll start playing. But leaps forward, I don't really see anybody taking that. My expectation, though, would be for the Philadelphia 76ers to make a conference finals.
Yeah, a good one.
So I think that would be the one that I would say. I'm trying to think. Milwaukee Bucks as well. I think last year they got knocked out in the first round. So hopefully a healthy Giannis, the second year with Dame, they get to go forward and go deeper into the playoffs. The Knicks getting knocked out in the second round. I guess that's one round more. Does that count as one?
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that for now.
Let's see. That's it for me. I think mostly the East. I'm trying to think about the West. The Phoenix Suns getting knocked out first round, not even moved. Lakers lucky if they get second round, not moved by the Kings. Minnesota making it to the finals. I'm gonna pick Minnesota to the finals because I support Ant all day. OKC got knocked out in the second round, right?
Yeah, second round for them.
So yeah, I can see them making finals as well.
You giving me a lot though. You're not giving me notes. That you just naming like 9 different teams.
What do you want from me? You want me to
place.
tell you who I think would do?
I wanted you to ideally give me like an answer or two.
He tired of you hedging your bets.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
you
it
just
is.
you throwing a lot of things out at me. I'm like, damn.
I'm sorry, you didn't tell me to pick one or two. You just said name the teams, multiple, that you think will be better than last year. Essentially is the essence of your question,
basically,
right?
basically.
Okay.
Basically.
So you didn't ask me to pick who I thought would make the finals or the conference finals. Is that the question that you're posing, sir?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. No. So this would not be hedging the bets. My bets if I'm answering your question.
I didn't say the hedging part. I didn't say that. No, I appreciate you answering the question on a serious note. While it's on my mind, I'm gonna slide in here real quick. Like I said, taking a leap this season, it can be going further in the playoffs, making the playoffs, or even on the other side of it, somebody's going. I feel like going to take a huge drop or a drop off from what they did last year. I don't see any major drops. Like I said, haven't said that as well. I think it's about 20 plus good teams in the league. I don't really see anybody taking a major drop. If I had to take a team that's going to take a leap this season or even put the league on notice even more, in my opinion, it's the Houston Rockets. 41 wins last year, and I really see them winning 45, 46 games, somewhere in that ballpark. I think they'll be better than the Clippers this year, and I think they'll be better than the Warriors this year. I'm on record saying that before the Kawhi news even came out. They'll be better than both of those teams this year. I know the Warriors, I think they won 46 games last year. Draymond, on top of Draymond, 25 game suspension. So ideally, you would think in your head they're probably going to be around that mark as well. But now I see the Warriors taking a slight step back when it comes to the course of the regular season because I still think their issues are still glaring, and that's going to be on display. Now I like Buddy, I like DeAnthony, I like Cal, all solid ads. But throughout the course of a regular season, say for example, if Steph goes down, it's going to be pretty tough for them, in my opinion. So I got the Warriors taking a slight step back. I think the Houston will be one of my main teams that'll take a leap, personally, in the Western Conference. And if I just had to decide on something in the East real quick, I don't even have an answer. I ain't gonna try to get y'all one. I don't have an answer for anybody in the East taking a leap this season, whether that's going further in the playoffs, ultimately winning.
I got one.
You know who would take a leap? Memphis.
Me as well.
Yeah.
I mean, does that?
Yeah,
really
but that was too. Yeah, that was too. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna.
That was an injury season.
Yeah,
I mean,
I still got it off.
Technically, they are taking a leap. They will, but that was like injury. It won't be because of development or anything like that. I definitely got a team in the East though.
So do I, for sure.
Who y'all looking at?
I got the Hornets, man.
I was gonna say that.
B
Here
Mill.
we go.
I'm sorry.
Airbnb. Shout out my nigga B.
Hornets.
I got the
Hornets. How much
man.
they jump in, Wes?
You said what?
How much they jump into?
Oh, I definitely had them in the play-in.
Okay.
I got them over Toronto. We can put
we can put money on that. I'm not gonna lie, we can put money on that.
We can put a little friendly wage on that. A nice little dinner, nice little meal. But yeah, I got LaMelo staying healthy this year, man. They've done some different things to his shoes. Also got him a custom ankle brace, if I remember correctly. So I expect him to play better. Well, not just play better, but be healthier. Like just play more. So I see a jump from them. I see another jump. Not that it'll matter much, but I got Detroit winning 33 games this year, maybe. Not 13, man.
That's a huge leap, bro. They won 14 last year.
That is a leap.
That's a leap.
Huge. That's huge. Some slight, or major, however you want to look at it, but still not a playoff team, not a play-in team, but much better than what it has been. Because my gosh, the last 2 years were terrible.
Yeah.
Western Conference, shout out Wemby. I think San Antonio is gonna flirt with 30, maybe like 34, 35 wins. I think Utah falls off. I think LA falls off. The Clippers. So I have San Antonio taking a little leap. Chris Paul, a real heady vet who will make sure, if he does nothing else this season, get the ball to Wemby. Look for a double from Chris this year. Same for Wemby as well. So yeah, I have San Antonio in the West. Utah taking a step back. And then in the East, I have Charlotte and Detroit, winning a few more ball games.
I like the answers, bro. What you got, Jordan?
Okay, I got two. I'm gonna start with. So it's not a big leap. I mean, it's a big leap, but it's in terms of like positioning. But I got LA getting the 6th seed. I think I'm ready for that. I think the Lakers are gonna get the 6th seed. No higher than that. I was between 6 and 7 when we talked last week. I think they can get the 6th seed. I already got a couple bets on it that we made when we talked in the playback a week or so ago. But
How do I tell my friend bad news?
you think you don't like that one? Wait till you hear this next one. So I think that's my in the West. If they don't get it, it'll be 7. I don't think it's gonna be anything 8 or.
All right, what team did you say?
I said LA will be 6th seed.
You still holding on hope? That's just so cute.
You argued this with me like last week.
They can do it. I don't think they're doing it though.
Okay. In the East, I'm kind of afraid to say it. I just was thinking about this earlier today. That team in Miami, man. I don't know. It's good vibes over there.
It really is.
The roster makes a lot of sense. A lot of guards still, but I don't know, man. It may not be, it's not going to be top 4 in the regular season or anything like that, but Milwaukee already having injury concerns. Giannis been unhealthy towards the end of the year. Past couple years, Chris is already unhealthy. New York, OG, never healthy. They already have injury concerns too. Embiid, Paul George. Paul George is an entity onto himself, and then Embiid never being healthy when it comes. Just something about, and I know Jimmy's had his thing, but just something about that team in Miami making me think that they can make damn sure not a finals. No. But round 2, maybe they face an injured team, get to the conference. Like, I can see it. I don't think they're gonna be a first round exit. I think that these other teams that you would think would be better than them in the top 4 outside of Boston, just something like logically tells me one of them is gonna be hurt. Or one of them something's gonna happen, get upset. And I think if that were to happen, I'm looking at either Milwaukee or not Milwaukee, Miami, or there's a couple other teams that could do it. But I think just coaching wise, and I think they have the guys. I think Ware is going to be a really big addition for them by the time, because I think he's going to have to earn his playing time. I don't think he's going to just be stamped early on to play all these minutes. But I think by the time the end of the season comes to, I think they're going to have a good idea of their roles, and I think they have the guys to be able to be slotted in that position to do it. So Miami would be the one in the East with the ultimate hesitancy in the world, because Jimmy is just feel weird putting trust in him, but I'm gonna rock with that.
Listen, that's the one shout out to Gifted. I want to give a Gifted a shout out. He brought me on this platform, this podcast. I want to say last week, Friday or Thursday, and we recorded an episode about the Miami Heat. And I told him, bro, it may sound crazy now, but I think the Heat can peak as a 4th seed. When you think of the conference, you think of Boston, Philly, New York, Boston, Philly, New York, Milwaukee, Cleveland, right? You think of those 5 teams as the best teams in the conference. But I really think the Heat can peak at the 4th seed this year. But my main goal is to out the plan, like at least be one of the 6 best teams, because we're in the ballpark to the public eye, with Orlando and Indiana. And I want us to be above that. I think we should be above that. I think we should back up there with Milwaukee, how they're viewed, and Philly, how they're viewed, and New York, how they're viewed. Obviously, those 3 teams did major moves in the last 365 days. That sort of kind of can make them closer to Boston. But yeah, man, like you said, this Heat team is deep. I think Jimmy is locked in. It's the first time I'm really putting my confidence in Jimmy throughout the regular season. Always during the playoffs. Throughout the regular season, I think he's fully locked in. I'm behind him, and if I'm behind him, that's a good thing. So, Heat was a great pick, bro. I like that Heat pick. What you got to say? Have it said?
Peaking the 4th seed, not no like crazy thing though, because you guys were behind the 4th seed by what, like 2 game difference?
Only reason I think it's kind of crazy. I don't know. You would want to go, Ev.
No, you good.
No, only reason I think it's kind of. We haven't seen the other teams play yet, so I get why you're saying that. I just think that for me at least, thinking in 4 seed, I also have regular season wise Indiana being a team, like just
Yeah.
regular season wise, that I would
Yeah.
expect if one of those teams was to slip. That would be my first candidate to be able to swap in. Just me personally, to swap in and get that that 4th seed. I think Miami for me personally is probably 5th seed peak. I think they can avoid the play-in too, though. I think they can be 6, but I think 5 for me, because if those other 4 teams do what they're supposed to do, could they potentially be right there with Indiana? Cool, sure, potentially with that same seed, but I would still probably pick Indiana ahead of them. So I might even have Miami 6 with a 5 seed peak.
I just think like there's so much parity in the league, and I think it's going to be equal to what it is now, where it's like 1 or 2 game difference. So I think like that's a margin of error.
Yeah.
Where like they can just slip into the 4 seed.
That's true.
It's like 2 game difference.
Yeah. All right. So with us talking about teams potentially taking leaps or potentially falling off, well, before I move to the next one, I do want y'all thoughts on that real quick too. We're trying to get some things on record, but we know the season actually kicking off tomorrow. But we talk about teams that may rise or may jump or may do better this upcoming season. What are some teams you think of that may underperform in the regular season, may take a fall, may take a hit? Not the Clippers, don't include the Clippers. Think about teams like that. Throughout the regular season, they may win a couple of less games or not look as good or anything of that nature real quick.
Denver.
Ooh,
I think, and it's not nothing crazy. I just think that going from how many games they win last year?
56. No,
Yeah, so
57?
if they go from 56 to 50 or 51, to me that's a
7. They won 57.
57. I was wrong.
yeah. So they go from 57 to like 50. To me, that's a bit of a step down, just in terms of like where you probably end up seating wise, and I think that would probably be about the floor for them. I don't think they'll be in like the 40s, but winning 50 or 51, I think is on the board just because they are banking on a lot of young guys. I know Jokic is the best player in the world, but they are banking on a lot of young guys to do some things, like Julian to be a shot maker, Peyton continuing to be able to improve offensively, hit an outside shot. Christian Brown, how much of an approximation can he be? Even though he provides certain things even above KCP, but just like being offensively, what is their offense going to look like, especially with Jokic off the court, and their shooting? They were already a mid shooting team last year. Quadras Cup, the championship year, they were good and they were streaky, but it was, it could be hit or miss sometimes. So their shooting, I think, if it does get off to a rough start, you know, I think that it could, just with the math of it all, depending on who they're facing from night to night, could, have them getting a few wins less, maybe like lower 50s or 50 or 51, which would be a slight step down in their seeding. Yeah.
And after I asked the question, I'm sitting back and think about it. I'm like, why did I even ask that? Because I don't really see too many teams. If I think everybody's in the same ballpark, I think there's like 20 or more really good teams in the league. I don't really see too many teams taking a step back. But in the avenue that you took it, if I had to answer that question, I'll say the Wolves. And again, like, it's not a lot. It's just a couple of games. There's nothing crazy. They won 56 last year. It's hard for me to see them replicating winning 55 plus again. With certain teams coming up. And I think with them still having to figure some things out offensively, I think it's going to take some time to realize or utilize or to see how they're going to utilize Julius Randle in half court settings or throughout the course of games, especially in the fourth quarters as well when he's on the court with Ant. They are the two best players on that team, or Rudy, however you want to look at it. Dante, I let it piece, or I let it fit. But if I had to say a team, I'll say Mini. I think Mini take a couple of steps back. I still think they win 50 games. But if I had to say probably 50, 51, somewhere in that ballpark. Heaventon or West, y'all got to answer. Cool. If not, we'll move to the next.
Yeah, I got Phoenix in the West. Hurts to say, but won 49 games last year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm expecting them to be around 43, 44, maybe 45, but and I still think they're playing a playing team.
Damn.
But I
Why?
expect them to. I mean, again, with Memphis back in the fold, I think also, like I said, I think San Antonio gets a little bit better. I also don't feel like, the teams at the top from last year, like a team like Denver, OKC, I think we stay strong. Um, quiet as it's kept, I don't like this team at all, but I think Golden State actually is going to improve. And I think there are just some teams around that mark, like even with the Pelicans, like granted, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they make it work, how it all fits together. But healthy Zion, a more motivated Zion, Zion who's lost some weight, Ingram in a contract year. I don't think he stays there the entire season. But assuming he's, while he's there, and assuming he does, assuming it's working out, um, I'm taking that into consideration. Um, I just think there are some teams in the Western Conference who have gotten closer to Phoenix, and I don't think Phoenix, regardless, like I think they're a team that is just too reliant on their two stars because they have two stars, and then everybody else on that team is just a player. Like I like Bradley Beal, but truth hurts, man.
Respect
He's not a
Allen.
star. I I mean Grayson Allen, he's a hell of a shooter, man. So shout out a hell of a shooter. But yeah, I know what's up with that team, man. I feel like, and I could be wrong, I could fall flat on my face, but I feel like I see it coming, man. So that's my team in the West, and then in the East, a team I see taking a step back might be a little like too easy, like low hanging fruit, but Celtics. I think the regular season just won't be as dominant as it was last year. Be it championship hangover, be it rest of the league is caught up, be it KP injury, however you want to slice it. I think they get about 6 games worse. And I think it makes things more interesting. So those are my two teams.
With you saying that real quick, Heaventon, do you got anything to say as far as the team potentially taking a step back?
I said the Clippers earlier. I'd say the Pelicans. I'm not too sure about one. They don't have a center, and then I'm not too sure about that whole Dejounte Ingram.
Herb Jones is the center.
Okay, so like I said, they don't have a center, and I'm not too sure about that Dejounte Ingram kind of like and Zion mix, because to me they kind of work in the same areas. There's a bit of overlap there. Um, yeah, I think those two for sure for me will kind of like fall. I can see where Wes is saying. I don't know. Like for me, for the Suns to fall off, um, like because KD just offensively is so good in the regular season that he normally like wins you like a good like 40 plus games. So if he's like what he was last year, I think they can rack up some wins. So I don't think it'll be like a drastic fall off. But that's it for me.
I was gonna follow up with something that you said, Wes, but I'm gonna hold it and I might bring it back up. It's probably gonna circle back to something else that we're gonna talk about. But this next thing I'm gonna talk about, I just want to get it on record now. Two conferences. Who are you guys contenders coming into this season? Who you view as contenders in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference? And who do you think they got the hype is there? You can sort of kind of see it, but it's just pretenders. You don't really see them winning that championship this year at all. Personally, for me, I will start this one off real quick. Contenders in the Eastern Conference, like actual contenders in the Eastern Conference, to me is the Celtics. Well, technically, it's no. I'm gonna just think about me. Team I can see actually winning the championship this year, the Celtics. Yeah, and that's it. No, I can't say the Bucks. If the Sixers are healthy, I think the Sixers can too. I'm gonna say the Celtics and the Sixers before I would say the Knicks. So that's it for me. Celtics and Sixers are my actual contenders in the East. When I think of the West, actual contenders, I have Dallas. I think they're a team that can make the finals again, or ultimately win it all. I think OKC is a team that can make the finals and also ultimately win it all. Uh, Have to pay my respect to Denver as well as always. Think Denver's the team that can make the finals and ultimately win it all. They just have different things that they can do matchup wise against some of the teams in the West. I know good. Shout out to Goods. He don't want to see Denver. I don't know how West feels about Denver and OKC matchup, but Dallas fans probably would struggle with, or Dallas period will have to struggle with Gardner Jokic. So I have to say Denver as well. So I have Denver, OKC, and Dallas as my actual contenders in the West. And honestly, I might stop there. Those are the main three teams that I can see winning it all this year. Respect to Phoenix, respect to Memphis, maybe even respect to the Lakers. But I'm gonna just stop at them three. So yeah, that's it for me.
When you say respect to the Lakers, that shit was random.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I gotta continue to pay my respect to them.
Still doing that. Still doing that in
We
2024.
still holding on to them broke ass. Respect though, respect, sure. But,
What were the three that you said of?
For the West, I had OKC, Dallas, and Denver. And in the East, I have Boston and Philly. A pretending standpoint, I think Milwaukee is going to be a team.
The Knicks do nothing for you.
Nah, they're not. Nah, not for me. I don't view them as a team that can. Like I'm a Philly guy over Knicks right now. I'm with the Sixers over the Knicks right now, personally.
I would love to dive into that whenever.
This is if Embiid is healthy though. This is if Embiid is healthy. Going into the playoffs, if Embiid is healthy, I think the Sixers will win that series against the Knicks, personally.
Your wallet don't feel that way.
Nah, I'll put money on it. I'll put money
Your
on
wallet
it.
don't feel that
I'll put
way.
money on
I'm
it.
knowing, gang. I'm knowing.
Pretenders, I think this is just teams that'll be really damn good in the regular season. But it's like whatever, they're not moving me. I think the Cavs fall in that ballpark. I think the Milwaukee Bucks will fall in that ballpark when I think about the Eastern Conference. And I think it's disrespectful for me to put the Knicks in that. So I'm not gonna put them in that. They're just in the middle a little bit. So really just the Cavs and the Bucks as far as
the Knicks don't have a category.
Yeah, not for
they're
me.
not pretenders, but they're not contenders. They just
they're closer to contenders than pretenders. I want to say that, Knicks fans.
They're just in purgatory. They're just
they have a really good team. Let me say they have a really good team. They're just closer to contenders than pretenders for me. So I'm not gonna put them in pretenders ballpark. But my only pretenders in the East is the Bucks and the Cavs. And then when I think about the West, I'm sorry, bro. And I can be by myself with this one. But the Wolves are pretenders, bro. Like they're pretenders. Like I'm sorry.
I'm leaving.
They are pretenders, bro. Like I'm so serious. The Wolves are pretenders for me. And I might stop.
You slide in the Denver Nuggets, but Wolves are pretenders.
Yes, they are.
So we just don't ignore the entire Denver Nuggets roster, but Wolves are pretenders.
Hey,
I just want to make sure I understand what's happening here.
Yeah, Wolves is my only pretender out west. And I gave y'all.
Wolves don't have the best player in the world. That's all that is.
And the best player, how was he the best player in the world last year? Or how far he make it?
Did he win MVP?
How far so he wasn't the best player in the world last year?
Didn't he win MVP?
He said, didn't he win MVP?
Oh, she was talking about Ant. I think she was talking about
No, she's not talking about Ant. She's talking about Jokic. She said they had the best player in the world last year, but lost.
He was the best player in the world.
And still didn't make it. Shit crazy. Sometimes you need more than just the best player in the world.
I mean, some injury luck kind of hurt him. And then, just not performing up to snuff. It happens, but the team that eliminated them last year went and got one of the worst playoff performers of ever. Yes, I said of ever. To replace somebody who wasn't that great, but in the series, he played his tail off. So, y'all, we'll see. Check ball over there, but I guess I'll go next. Try to make it quick. In the East, I'll start with pretenders. Philadelphia, biggest pretender I've ever seen. They're not winning the championship. They're not getting close to winning the championship. Once again, my dog Process is gonna have to deal with his beloved Sixers not making it out of the second round, and eventually we're gonna talk about Embiid just being fool's gold. To steal a quote from Jordan earlier, but my other pretender, Miami, for anybody who believes in heat culture, like it's written on the wall. Like
that's a good day. That's a good day.
You. I'm completely out. But contenders are definitely Boston, the Knicks, and Milwaukee. I don't think any other team is worth putting in that. I think if they were to make the Eastern Conference Finals, they will be exceeding expectations. Even though the Pacers were there last year, I think they will exceed expectations. Same for the Cavs, the Magic, etc. So I'm gonna leave it to those 5 teams that I mentioned between contender and pretender. Then for the Western Conference, I have OKC contender for sure. The head honcho for contender, no funny. I have Denver, and that's where it stops for me. Everybody else who feels like they have championship aspirations is a pretender in the West. So I'm naming the
Oh, that's a
Lakers.
bold. That's a bold statement, bro.
I'm naming the Lakers. I'm naming the Mavs. I'm naming the Wolves. I'm naming the Grizzlies. And anybody else, like, they're all pretenders. It's
Bro,
two
so you think
contenders.
Dallas don't got no chance when it comes to OKC this year?
They have a chance because they have Luca, but they're pretenders. They're not like, I don't think their regular season is gonna be like, I remember somebody, we just did a segment. Somebody said they could, I think it was Derek, had them winning 57 games. Or
Oh,
that was on Gifted's platform, I think. So shout out Gifted again. But I think he had them winning 57 games or something crazy, something I didn't agree with. And then it's like, yeah, I don't believe. Like, I'm not a believer. Shout out to him though, man. Luke is a hell of a player. Um, and Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson. So it's beautiful, man. I can't wait to see it unfold. But yeah, they're pretenders to me. And I'll leave it there.
check out for me, Jordan and Henderson.
Yeah, I'll pick up where you left off with Dallas. It's a uh, people want to try to convince me that Klay Thompson playing small forward in Big 2024 is not the issue defensively. God bless. And I think I think if you Derek Lively ain't that good of an anchor at this point in his career. I think that perimeter defense in the starting lineup is going to be food, 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 food. And so if that's going to be the case, I think you're always going to, for me, be um, until they make an adjustment, unless they make a lineup adjustment to balance things out a bit. Then I think for me, if that's going to be the approach going into the season, Clay's going to continue to have this big role. Start at the 3, pretender. They could, and when I say pretender, they could still, there's pathways for them to still make the finals, I think. So it's kind of weird for me to say pretender, but I just think eventually when you talk about winning a championship, if that's going to be the approach, that's going to catch up to you at some point. So I would say them in the pretender category, totally with you on that Wolves thing. No, sir. Adding Julius Randle, no, he will never lift the NBA championship trophy, and that's just a fact. In the East, and then the contenders are pretty much, Denver. In the contenders in the West, Denver, OKC.
Yeah, he knows what it is with Denver. Said all
Yeah,
that other stuff.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I still think playoff time. Yeah, because honestly, I think Denver. And I'm gonna make it quick. Denver has a pathway to play like the kind of ball that the Lakers played when they were winning the chip. They're just like ugly offensively, but overall championship level ball. Defensively, lean into that rebound. Be efficient at the end of games. Doesn't have to look pretty. Then you got Joker's best player in the world, close things out. So I think it could look a lot like that. It would just look different than it did a couple years ago. And then in the East, Philly, I'm with you. And then this Knicks thing, bro. I wasn't this way a couple weeks ago, but
I
just the
wasn't
more I
either.
think about it, I don't know. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see dudes that really got. And I know we talked about losing Julius, but I remember at the time I spoke about losing that grit and that kind of that you know what I'm saying. And I'm looking at Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges. You lost Randall, Dante, and Hartenstein, who had that. And yeah, I don't see what them dudes mentality wise. And then them in Philly, and then the contenders would be Milwaukee by default, kind of just as a second contender, but it's really just Boston.
Yeah, I respect that. Respect the Milwaukee one. Henderson, you got to have something for us. Contender, pretenders, both conferences.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So contenders for me for the West, OKC, the Wolves. I don't know, like,
You think the Wolves can win it all this year?
you heard what I said. Just like last year in the playoffs when I stood with Ant and all y'all were trying to tell me it's not gonna work. You heard what I said. I'm gonna stand with Ant again this season. I don't know, like the Mavs just they're that team where like they gotta show me. They just gotta show me. I can't put them in contenders. Like they shocked me last year and I just like still can't grasp it. So they gotta just show me again. You heard what I said. I couldn't grasp
Minnesota shocked people
You
too.
heard what I said.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. My bad.
Okay.
My bad.
And then and then everybody else to me is like pretenders. And then for the East, you got Boston. I need to see the Knicks. I just need to see the Knicks. The Bucks for me, like at this point, Giannis is injury prone, so I can't like pen them in for me as contenders. Same thing with Embiid because of his injuries, so I can't pen them in as contenders. So yeah, just for sure, the Boston Celtics for me are contenders.
Okay.
Shout out to me being the first one to say Giannis is injury prone.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that another time.
I've kept asking every year, is he injury prone yet? Same thing with Cade. I kept asking, is he injury prone yet?
The Cade straight is insane.
I'm just saying because
next topic, got Cade straight going.
Just certain players. It's certain players like they keep getting hurt, and people just don't like to put injury prone on them, but they're fast put on other people.
These next two things we're gonna run through quick. You can just drop some names, whether that's the teams and the players. But I'm gonna kick this one off. Just real quick. Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals predictions, and then the NBA Finals. Out east, I have out west, Dallas and OKC. And I actually have Dallas going back to the NBA Finals again. I know that's not an easy thing to do, but I just think. Well, let me just leave it at that. I have Dallas going back to the NBA Finals again, and then out east I have Boston versus. Damn, bro. I heard you because it's like about New York. Damn, bro. I know I put them in the middle, but I'm gonna say New York for right now. Boston versus New York.
What?
I know it makes no sense. It makes no sense but I can't say Philly. But
you gotta have to.
That makes completely no sense. I get it, but in the playoffs, the length of the playoffs,
that means they contenders enough.
No, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me clean that up. Philly are not contenders for me. Philly's in the same ballpark with New York. I'm messing myself all the way up right now. But for the sake of it, New York and Philly's in the same boat. New York, Philly, Milwaukee are in the same boat. Boston's the only contender. I'm cleaned out all the way up now. Boston's the only contender. I mean, if I had to pick out them three teams for the sake of it right now, I'll say New York to meet Boston in the finals. I mean, in the Eastern Conference Finals, Boston going back to the NBA Finals again. And then my finals winner will be Saturday. If that happens again, I think Boston will go back to back. So that's me real quick.
They teetering on a dynasty if they can win this year, because that'll be 3 finals appearances in 4 years. 2 rings.
Yeah.
They teetering, you know. Shout out to them.
Exploiting a weak ass league. Gotcha. Sorry.
Damn, the new LeBron, tough. Don't hate me. You set yourself up.
That ain't no. You right. The whole team is LeBron. You spitting.
I was gonna say the whole starting five.
The entire team is LeBron. You spitting with.
I can go. So conference finals in the East, Boston, Miami. In the West, I'm gonna go.
Say Miami so bad, bro.
just because I think Embiid's gonna be hurt again. I think there's a chance that Milwaukee and Boston play second round, and I think if the Knicks and Miami play, I'm gonna pick Miami. So I think it's pretty plausible, to be honest. I think it's a very plausible scenario. even if it just looks nasty as fuck. And then in the West, I'm gonna go Denver, OKC. I'm gonna pick Denver. I think we're getting Celtics and Nuggets, and I got Boston. I got Boston.
Okay. West 7 cent. What y'all got?
Go first, 7 cent.
I think I'm the same thing with you, Ev. For like the conference finals for the East is dependent on matchups. So the person who out of the Knicks and even outside in Miami, Knicks, Miami, and let's say like Philly, who don't meet Boston, will make it to the conference finals.
Yeah, I should have said that. Yeah.
And then for the West, I don't want to say this because West supports this team, but I gotta say it. OKC and Minnesota. I want to see the two young players that is going to be taking over the league. One that is already seen as the face in Anthony Edwards, and Shea, who is beloved here from the
The
country.
countryman. You know what to do. You know what to do.
While we live right now, Aaron Gordon just got a 4-year extension too, by the way. So,
Yeah, I saw it.
yeah, 4-year, 133.
You said
shout out my
Aaron
nigga
Gordon? You
Jalen
said
Green,
Aaron
man.
Gordon?
Shout out
Aaron
JG.
Gordon.
Oh, okay, I thought you said Eric Gordon. I was like,
Nah,
to do
Aaron, my
what?
bad.
Jokic
My
about
bad.
Jokic about to be making as much as him and Jamal Murray, AG and Jamal Murray combined soon.
Yeah.
Who you got making the finals on the West 7 cent? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
OKC and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Who you got advancing to the finals though?
Oh, I don't know, because like I feel like I have to stand.
No.
I feel like this is it, right? I feel like a patriot, I have to stand with my countrymen, which is Shea. And I feel like if I don't, I might get deported out of my country. But at the same time, I stand with Ant. So I'm torn. But I will pick Anthony Edwards and I will move to the States, I guess.
So Minnesota plays Boston in the finals. Who you got winning?
I'm gonna always pick Ant. I don't know why you keep trying to do this.
All right. All right. Who was last? Was it West? I think West was.
Yeah, West. I got OKC and Denver. Self-explanatory. For the East, I got Boston and Milwaukee. I don't know. Some about Dame and Giannis. I'm putting all my chips to the middle of the table. I'm buying in, you know. I'm all in. So out of those series, I have Boston getting to back-to-back finals. I have OKC telling Russ, you know, you had your time, man. We love you, but it's our time now, man. And sending him, you know, maybe into retirement. Who knows? But I have us ending his season in the Western Conference Finals, telling Jokic, you know, you may be the best in the world, but again, it's our time. And I have us completely wiping down these guys who what, it's a 4-leaf clover or some shit. Whatever they got going on over there. A 5-game series, completely wiping them down. Jaylen Brown will hoop. Jaylen Brown will hoop. He will be the best player for his team in that series. Consistent team, but Shay's gonna bring it home. So that's my finals, man.
I want to appreciate y'all for coming on and doing this episode with me. If you made it this far in the episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I have one more question for y'all. And I'm going to pack to the Laker fans first. We got 2 games tomorrow, doubleheader, NBA Open tonight. Who y'all got winning the games? That's tomorrow, and why? And that's the episode. Lakers Timberwolves, I know that's the second game, but we're going to start with that real quick. What happened? Jordan and Heaven up here. Lakers Wolves.
Did you just call me a Laker fan?
LeBron, Lakers. I'm sorry. LeBron,
No,
Lakers.
they're not the same.
Okay. Okay.
I think, God, I'm gonna hate myself for saying this. I got the Lakers tomorrow, bro.
I do too, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't. I just like what I like what I see, not from the long term shit, but it just I think they're gonna play good basketball and win the game. That's as far as I could go.
Like I said, you with the Lakers or the Wolves tomorrow?
I'm with the listen. This ain't even like me loving Ant or whatever. Like Braun game ones, just even like first game of the season, like
Oh,
he don't win them.
Yeah.
but
And
you don't
the
feel
older
like
he's gotten, like the more time he needs to like rev up.
I don't feel you don't feel it's a long conversation. I don't feel like they're gonna be on that this year. I think they kind of going. I think they locked. Now they got
I feel the same
limitations,
way.
but I don't think they're gonna be on this ramp up shit anymore.
I don't think he does this on purpose. I think he
Oh, see, I just
genuinely needs time to warm up, Braun.
yeah.
He just don't win. I'm not saying like he still plays well, right? Like I think last year he played well. They just lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I'm not as a LeBron James fan. I've never picked him to win game ones, either in playoff scenarios or like regular season, first game of the season type of situations.
So you with the Wolves? It sound like okay.
I am.
And Wes, what you got for that second game of the doubleheader? And you can let us know where you got
For
Boston
me, I
as well.
probably it's Lakers and Wolves, right?
Yeah.
I got the Wolves, man. I got Dante going crazy.
Hurts your heart to say the Wolves, doesn't it?
Nah, I don't have anything against him. I just know I know the real young nigga who's stepping on shit, and it's not the one in Minnesota.
We
But
know who the face of
respect
the
to
league
him.
is. We're not doing this. We
That's
saw
the
the
countryman.
we saw the Netflix.
I'm an honorary Canadian at this point, man. With Drake and Shay, come on. But yeah, I got threes tomorrow. Like really like showing out as a debut for his team. But I have it being a close game. I think it's hard fought. I think JJ impresses early. I think they just lose. And Brian, like to Evanson's point, Jordan's point, he has to rev up, and I'm thinking like 21, maybe 23. I see D'Lo not having a great night. It's a lot of ball pressure to have to deal with the first game of the season. And guys aren't in the best shape to start the year, all that stuff. So, but I'm gonna lean with the younger team, more spry team.
Okay. I'm gonna kick off the next two. Like I said, I'm with Jordan. I think the Lakers get the win tomorrow. I view the Lakers as like the Miami Heat for some reason. I think both teams have good rosters, and I also think both teams will take the regular season more serious this
You
year.
did not say Lakers have a good roster.
Well, solid. Let me say solid. LeBron, AD, D'Lo, Reeves. That's a Rui. It's a solid team. It ain't nothing great, and I think the Heat just have a solid team. Jimmy Bam, Hero, Terry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think both teams went around the same amount of games last year. Got to be between 46,
They have
47.
power
I think
forward.
the Lakers probably even won more last year than the Heat did. So I think both teams have similar seasons. I think both teams will take the regular season more serious. And look no further than the first game of the season with a team that's fresh off of a trade like 2-3 weeks ago. With a new starting power forward. Nas is ruled in for this game. He's coming in with a minor shoulder injury. I think the new one's going to have to sort of kind of something to figure out. I'm going to go with the Lakers for game one. In that game two, which is the first game of the doubleheader, I actually going to go with the Knicks in this one, bro. I'm going to go with the Knicks. I think the Knicks going to get the win on the road on ring night. Something in my gut is just telling me the Knicks get the win. Cat, Brunson, Bridges, OG, I think they're ready to rock and roll. As far as the regular season, so I'm gonna go with the Knicks personally for game 1/2 for me.
Yeah, I think the Celtics gonna be the dog shit out of the Knicks. To be honest,
I
I'll
agree.
just leave it there.
I'm by myself, man. Wes, you with Boston too? Wes probably with Boston. I think he was in like a little mini blender ever
Oh
since
no,
she
my fault. I just football. My apologies. I do have Boston handling business. I think JB and JT go for the 30 tomorrow.
Ooh.
That's my
If
prediction.
they do that, they set in the tone. Like, yeah, y'all can get OG, y'all can get Bridges, but they can't fuck with us. Like, they can't guard us. If they do that, they set the tone for sure.
Oh yeah, I think they're on timing this year, man.
Yeah.
I think the championship was cute, but listening to some of the murmurs, they really don't feel respected as champions.
Mhm.
And I think they really do try to come out and set somewhat of a tone to start the year, even though I do have them taking their 6-game skid. I think that's about just the injury and then also being some fatigue coming early, maybe dropping a few games, but everybody can get up for game one, and I think JB, JT go drop 30. And I actually think they kind of handle them. Like I think it's an 11 or 13-point game. Like I got Boston.
Okay. I will
You think
thankfully.
Mikhail can guard them?
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, that's the thing.
My opinion on Mikhail is like pretty crazy. So that's why I never really speak on him. But it's not a very I'm not very fond of him. Especially since his shot is
The way it's looking,
whatever
yeah.
that is now. Like nah,
And he's
I'm
supposed
not
to be
that fond.
the OG Anunoby safety net,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's gonna be a thing because OG don't be there. Like I agree, Wes. The thing is, like they have OG. I don't think Mikhail can guard them, and I think like similar when the Raptors used to match up with the Celtics, like OG can only be on one at a time, and when
Yeah.
he's on one, the other one's cooking, and when he goes on the other one, the other one cooks. So like I think and plus they're gonna be riding high from winning a championship, and they feel based upon like comments that they've made, they feel a bit disrespected. The team feels disrespected, so I guess they're on a mission this year. So we'll see.
Yeah. And then putting Cat and Brunson and ball screens and attacking them. Like, come on, bro. I know what's
Yeah.
going there tomorrow.
I heard he got so much better defensively. That's what I heard.
Well,
So
I knew everybody. I knew y'all was gonna say Boston. I was gonna be different a little bit. Shout out to the Celtics though, man. I just wanted to pick different. Y'all. I knew they was gonna say the Knicks. Hopefully the Knicks do get the win. For the sake of my selection or my pick in the game. But all in all, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. Episode 106. Back to back episode. I got the blessing and the opportunity to record with y'all. So thank y'all for that. Definitely be hitting y'all up throughout the course of the NBA season coming up, and bringing on different guests as well. So thank y'all. Do y'all have any final words to say? Are we good?
this was fun, Ev, as usual. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Looking forward to staying
Pull
up
up
to 1:30. Watch the Lakers play every night.
and pull up the playback tomorrow, man. Full slate. A lot of NBA, a lot of NFL. And just big ups to Evan's platform as well again.
And get that merch.
Y'all.
Get that merch. Get that merch.
Get that merch.
Sure.
Subscribe to the YouTube. Check out the daily show Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Peace, blessing, and love to everybody that watches this episode. Thank y'all for coming on.